This is exactly what I've been waiting for. This is exactly, I don't mean to sound like Cat Williams, but this is exactly what I've been waiting for.
Brother, we did it. We did it. We did it. It's done. It's done. We did it. Bruce Allen is gone.
I love it.
There's so much stuff to talk about. Training staff, Ron Rivera, defensive coordinator, Giants head coach getting fired. But the most important thing, the main reason this video was made, is Bruce Allen's tyranny has finally come to a close. We did it. All of the fire Bruce Allen hashtags, put that pressure on them. Feel me?
Did they fire somebody?
Yes.
Who?
Bruce Allen.
Bruce Allen got fired?
Yeah.
Some of us have been looking forward to this day for a long, long time.
That's more than a 10 loss per year average, y'all. Do y'all not understand how bad that is? But he's gone. After a 3-13 season, and every L was worth it this season. It was so beautiful. We finished this season with a negative 169 point differential. That's the third worst in franchise history. The only time we did worse was 1954 and 1961, where football wasn't even football yet. This is our worst point differential since rap has even been invented.
What?
And just an official statement from the Redskins, just, calm down a little bit. As the season concludes, Bruce Allen has been relieved of his duties as president of the Washington Redskins and is no longer with the organization. Like our passionate fan base, fire Bruce Allen hashtags, they already know. They felt that pressure, y'all. I recognize we have not lived up to the high standards set by the Redskins teams, coaches, and players who have come before us. As we reevaluate our team leadership culture, that damn good culture we had, and process for winning football games, I am excited for the opportunities that lie ahead, no more lying, to renew our singular focus and purpose of bringing championship football back to Washington, D.C. Get that man up out of here. He is not reassigned. He is not demoted. He's not being moved to some other position. He's not only just over stadium responsibilities. He is gone completely. Go ahead and get that Rams consultant job that I heard you was about to get. Go all the way to LA. Go across the United States as far away from us as possible. When we play the Rams, please don't be there and bring that bad juju back. We don't need any of that. Take that damn good coach over to LA and keep it there. And I actually rock with the Rams, so I'm so sorry y'all have to deal with them now. I kind of hope y'all don't have to deal with them. But all that matters is that we don't have to deal with them now. I mean, Monday is so beautiful, man. Think about it. Bruce Allen gone. We had to lose so many games, but those games we lost, we saw Dwayne Haskins develop really well. We saw Kevin O'Connell doing a very good job the past couple of weeks after Bill Callahan got told to move out the way. So we stopped running the ball on first and second down and throwing on third down every possession. We actually let the leash off Kevin O'Connell and let him go to work. And Dwayne Haskins and the entire offense prospered. Terry McLaurin shined as bright as a rookie receiver ever has for the Redskins throughout the entire season. And then Steven Sims started coming along as of late. Cole Holcomb had a promising season with some mistakes, stuff to learn from, but he'll get there. Kelvin Harmon started to shine as of late, especially that last game against Dallas. Montez Sweat started going stupid as the year went along. Every 3 or so games, you saw a significant step in progress. And in that game against Dallas, he showed that he can really be something. Ryan Anderson started to even show out the past couple of weeks. So his progress was great. So we weren't just losing games for the heck of it. Not only did we get Bruce Allen fired, but a lot of our young future developed very well and progressed really far during the process. And then we have the second overall pick, Chase Young. Chase Young and Montez Sweat together, stop playing with me. And even if the Bengals take Chase Young and we can't get him, we can just trade back for the King's ransom, something like the RG3 trade, but we're on the other side. We could possibly even do better than that.
Excellent.
If the Bengals take Chase Young for some reason and Joe Burrow's out there, oh my Lord, what we can get for Joe Burrow in the trade. Come on now. Then third, this coaching staff we're about to have is about to be crazy. First of all, Ron Rivera is our new head coach. Let's get it. There's 2 quotes from Ron Rivera that he said like a couple of weeks ago, before he was even hired as the Redskins coach, that I really want to talk about. First of all, he said, "I'm not trying to build a football team. I'm trying to build a sustainable culture." Now that's really big, because if you know anything from Ron Rivera, no matter how much you don't like him, you know for a fact players will run through a wall for that man. The one positive that Bill Callahan definitely brought to this team as interim head coach was that players actually played with passion. They looked like they actually wanted to win. They were motivated, blood, sweat, and tears. No matter what, they wanted to win games. They went out there every game with Bill Callahan as head coach, looking like they were really trying to win. Ron Rivera brings that and more. After Ron Rivera got fired, you saw so many players that used to play with him highly upset and confused. And ever since he was fired by the Panthers, and it was more like a time to part ways type thing, the new owner wants to start his own new regime. I'd be very surprised if Cam Newton is there next year. He just wants to start clean slate. I highly doubt he'll find somebody better than Ron Rivera, but the point was to find somebody different. So I say all of that to say that Ron Rivera wasn't fired because he wasn't a good coach. They just wanted to change. They wanted to go in a different direction, more than likely younger. But look at the Panthers since Ron Rivera has left. They have been getting diddy bop. You could tell that Ron Rivera was just keeping basically a bad roster afloat. He was doing the most with the team that he had this past season in 2019. Ron Rivera is definitely the type of guy to get the most out of players. So whatever the Redskins do, we pretty much know for a fact that that's the best they can do. That is their highest potential. No more will we say the Redskins have all of this talent and we're not using it right. We are going to get the very best from each player, each collection of players, each position group, defense and offense. We're going to get the most out of our team as possible. Also, another quote that Ron Rivera said, Adam Schefter asked Ron Rivera what he was looking for in his new team, and he said he wanted to coach a team that has potential to win, teams that are a good draft or free agents away from being a really good team. That sounds like us to me. I just never understood why people were saying the Redskins job, who was it, Todd McShay or somebody? They were saying the Redskins job opening was the worst in the league. Maybe he was saying that strictly because of Bruce Allen. But with Bruce Allen gone, all of this young talent, Dwayne Haskins, franchise quarterback. I can easily see him being a top 10 quarterback at some point in 2020 if we keep everything rolling, if he keeps progressing the way he has. Terry McLaurin is already a top 10 receiver. Steven Sims gonna be a dominant slot receiver. You saw him going crazy in that Cowboys game. I know y'all did. Despite all of that losing going on, you saw him going crazy. Landon Collins young long term. Matt Ioannidis young long term. Jonathan Allen and Deron Payne. Don't let me forget Kelvin Harmon. Cole Holcomb is a promising young rookie. Sean Dion Hamilton has something going for him, young. Quentin Dunbar young long term. Can't forget about Trent Williams. But then there's also the opportunity to construct the team to fit your style. There's so much room for Ron Rivera to bring what he wants to bring to the Redskins team and culture. He has the number 2 overall pick, so he can go get Chase Young. That's a big addition. And don't forget about Reuben Foster. We haven't even seen him play yet. He got hurt like the first day of training camp. So just imagine the current Redskins team and you add Chase Young, Ron Rivera, whoever else we draft, and we may be able to get more draft picks if we trade away people like Ryan Kerrigan or Josh Norman if we can get anything for him besides a bag of chips, which is interesting because Josh Norman's job might be safe, which might be like the only negative of this whole situation. That's probably why he was just chilling and wasn't even angry about getting benched the past few weeks. He was like, oh yeah, Ron Rivera coming, I'm cool. I'm good. I'm going to take these last few weeks to the chin and I'm going to chill out. And my boy going to come to town and I'm going to be straight. I hope Josh Norman's situation is not straight. I do hope he's out of here. We need that cap space. And speaking of cap space, the biggest asset that Ron Rivera has at his disposal is potentially $90 million in cap space. We might even be able to get Alex Smith off the books. So Ron Rivera has all types of draft capital, cap space capital to work with to construct this team the way he wants to, with a really high potential young core of players that I just listed. So not only are we excited, but he seems like this job opportunity is great for him too, so I'm sure he's excited. I love having a passionate, hard-nosed, no BS, full discipline requiring head coach. This is going to be fun.
It's about damn time.
And you know the Redskins have done really well when ESPN and all of those type of people are giving us huge compliments. I'm hearing things like home run hire and Bruce Allen's firing is the best thing that happened to the Redskins in a very long time. This is coming out of neutral media reporters and analysts. These are the same people that normally hate and disapprove of every little move the Redskins make. Even when it seems like it's good to us, they normally have some negative way to look at it. But today is the first time I've seen almost a unanimous and collective praise of moves that Washington is making across the national media. If that isn't a big step in the right direction, I don't know what is. I can't wait for Ron Rivera to bring some stability to this team and much needed experience and energy. He became the Panthers head coach when he had Cam Newton when he was very young and pretty raw. Now he has Dwayne Haskins in the same situation. Now another thing I'm scared of though is that as much as I love Ron Rivera and I feel like this is like a home run hire in my opinion, I saw a random report that Ron Rivera is requesting complete control over the draft. He'll have the last say in everything, and I really hope the Redskins do not allow that.
I gotta deal with this bull.
We don't need you doing all that. Head coach, that's what you're great at, do that. Handle defensive responsibilities, all of that type of stuff. But as far as the draft goes, we have that handled. That's one of the very few things the Redskins have done well the past few years. That's draft well, especially this last draft. Let Eric Schaefer, Kyle Smith, and Doug Williams keep doing what they're doing. Mainly Kyle Smith. Let them keep doing what they're doing. You head coach. It will be fine. Yeah, you can have a say in it and all of that, but the final say and total control, nah.
Monkey crack!
But we'll get back to Kyle Smith and Eric Schaefer a little bit later. Right now, I want to talk about who Ron Rivera will be coaching with. It looks like Kevin O'Connell's job may be safe, which I really hope. Because first of all, Dwayne Haskins just spoke in the locker room recently, and he gave Kevin O'Connell a lot of praise and was talking about how he really hopes Kevin O'Connell comes back, and I really hope so also. Because those last few games, when Kevin O'Connell finally had the Bill Callahan shackles released from him, you saw a very exciting, creative, and smart and risk-taking offense. Finally! That we've been waiting for a long time, that we never truly got out of Jay Gruden. Trick plays, smart plays, and an offense that let Dwayne Haskins shine at what he does best. Up-tempo, no huddle, quick throws, open receivers. But Kevin O'Connell also gave Dwayne Haskins the power to make pre-snap reads and decisions and audible on his own. Their chemistry was like this at a certain point.
Oh, you know the vibes.
What you got next?
I don't even know. Yeah. You know the vibes.
Dwayne Haskins was able to quarterback confidently because he knew exactly what his offensive coordinator wanted out of him and vice versa. So I believe we should definitely keep Kevin O'Connell as offensive coordinator, and it looks like it may actually be very possible. And now defensive coordinator wise, I'm hearing reports that Ron Rivera will bring Steve Wilks with him to DC as a defensive coordinator.
Yes!
And I'm very excited about that. Those two, Ron Rivera and Steve Wilks, will have our defense flying and playing very physical and very disciplined. The Greg Minuski days are gone. And Greg Minuski, we really appreciate everything you did. You're one of the main reasons we're able to draft Chase Young. You're one of the main reasons we have the second overall pick right now. I appreciate everything you did, but you gotta get up out of here. Ron Rivera and Steve Wilks is the new era of Washington Redskins defense. I'm so excited. And again, they have a lot of trade capital and cap space capital to make some things shake on the defensive side. I'm so excited. Even Bill Callahan just recently admitted Montez Sweat has been dropped into coverage too much for his liking. Even Bill Callahan knew that Greg Minuski was tripping on that. So now we're going to have Montez Sweat and Chase Young actually rushing the passer. And we're about to move to a 4-3. I'm like 99% sure. First of all, Dan Snyder, before even Ron Rivera was rumored to come here, said that he wanted a head coach / defensive coordinator that wanted to implement the 4-3. Dan Snyder was done with the 3-4. And Ron Rivera and Steve Wilks employ 4-3 defenses. So now we'll have Chase Young as defensive end on one side, Montez Sweat and defensive end on the other side, Matt Ioannidis, Jonathan Allen, Daron Payne in the middle, rotating in and out. And that is beautiful. No more of our best pass rushers dropping back into coverage. They only have 2 responsibilities now. Hold the edge and get after the quarterback. That's it. Man, our defensive ends actually having their hand in the dirt is going to be beautiful. And now I want to talk about Trent Williams. With Bruce Allen gone, a trustworthy, dependable, and proven head coach in town, I feel like the chances of Trent Williams coming back is actually very likely now. Just yesterday, I was like, 30% maybe, 40% chance. Now I give it like an 80% chance.
Do you really know? Did you really know?
He openly said that him and Dan Snyder didn't have any beef. It was just Bruce Allen and the training staff. So I say Dan Snyder, sit down with Trent Williams, offer him the guaranteed money he wants, extend him, and let's get this show rolling. Bruce Allen fired, Ron Rivera and Steve Wilks hired, Kevin O'Connell kept, and Trent Williams brought back? Come on now. Like, what kind of Monday is that?
This is something else.
What kind of off season is that? I know we didn't make the postseason, but I definitely feel like we're winning right now. But another reason that Trent Williams will very likely come back is that Dan Snyder has announced that he is very likely firing most, if not all, of the training staff, which is what the Redskins have been pleading for him to do for a long time, and is one of the main reasons Trent Williams wasn't coming back, and one of the main reasons we were missing out on the top free agents. I've heard that the head trainer, Larry Hess, may be safe, but everybody else's job's in jeopardy, and it's very likely for a lot of them to be fired, if not all of them. So it looks like Trent Williams might be for real coming back. Dwayne Haskins' blind spot is safe, but that training staff is crazy though, because we were for real missing out on free agents because of that. The way our injury problem was, that gets around. People from other teams definitely took notice and didn't want to sign here. There are even stories that former Redskin players went to other teams and then found out from their new teams that their health was not as good as they thought it was. If that isn't a sign that the Redskins training staff needs to get up out of here, I don't know what is. Bruce Allen and the Redskins training staff, you up out of here. It's such a beautiful day. But now back to Eric Schaefer and Kyle Smith. I'd be very much down for Eric Schaefer or Kyle Smith becoming the GM. What Eric Schaefer, Kyle Smith, and Doug Williams have done for this team, Eric Schaefer negotiating the contracts, Kyle Smith and Doug Williams putting these beautiful drafts together, I'm definitely down for them to be promoted in-house. I would love to still bring in some outside voices and minds like Louis Riddick, Rick Smith, Urban Meyer, which I doubt will happen because there's a report that he's out there still looking for head coaching opportunities. But if he wants to come be a part of the front office in some way, I'm down. But I'm absolutely in love with the idea of Eric Schaefer becoming a team president, Kyle Smith becoming a GM, and Doug Williams keeping the same role he has now. That will definitely have our team going in the right direction. And with them being promoted, that would also signal that Ron Rivera does not have total say over the draft, which is another beautiful thing. And just reported, Dan Snyder does not want to have 2 press conferences today. He just only wants to have one, and that will be to announce that Ron Rivera is the next Redskins head coach. He will be the 10th head coach under the Snyder era, and hopefully we'll finally have some real continuity. We had some continuity with Jay Gruden, but it was mediocrity. It was average. Now let's finally have some successful continuity. Man, seeing Bruce Allen is no longer with the Redskins in any capacity, but that's a good feeling right there, man, I'll tell you. Dang, it's crazy. Joe Gibbs and Ron Rivera already have a picture together chopping it up. This is a beautiful thing, y'all. This is a beautiful thing. Y'all ready to get back to being the 80s, early 90s Redskins? I wasn't alive at any point in those times, but from what I've seen and heard, it was beautiful. I wasn't there to watch it live, but I know. So far as a Redskins fan, the highlights have been Mark Brunell to Santana Moss down 13-0 against the Cowboys, winning 14-13 with them random heaves. Colt McCoy beating Dallas in Dallas on Thanksgiving, and the 2012 season with RG3. That's all I have. I can't wait to actually see the Redskins be great in my lifetime. I'm just so glad that the Bruce Allen era is done. We had to deal with the Donovan McNabb trade, the winning off the field, damn culture BS, the Josh Norman signing, the whole Scott McClellan stupidity, the whole Kirk Cousins drama, the dumb Alex Smith trade and extension. I mean, he looked like he could lead us to some wins, but all of that money? And we gave away our dominant slot corner for it? And the Trent Williams holdout? We are free, y'all. We are free. But in other news, the Giants fired Pat Shurmur, so now they're on the lookout for a head coach, and I'm very glad we wrapped up this Ron Rivera thing, because he might have gone there, even though I feel like the Redskins have far more potential, honestly, in my honest opinion. So I feel like we may have been the more attractive job with Bruce Allen gone anyway. But I'm so excited, man. Bruce Allen gone. 4-3 defense. Now we can take Chase Young and we don't have to reach for an offensive tackle like a lot of y'all wanted to do. It's like 4 guys that are basically like the same level of talent. And as much as I love Andrew Thomas, taking him at 2 or anywhere in the top 7 just didn't make sense.
Are you delusional? Do you suffer from a mental illness?
I don't care how bad the need is. So please, Trent Williams, go ahead and come back, because I'm tired of hearing that mess. And JP Finlay just said that Jordan Reed is in the building. Haven't seen him in months. He looked good. Does that mean like good enough to be traded or something? Because we're done with that. We're done. He looked good last offseason, summer 2019. He played the least this year I think he's ever played. We're done. If we can trade him for anything, if we can trade him for free Amazon Prime, let's do it. And I hear y'all about having a head coach before you have a GM, but I feel like we already have a GM in place. Either they already have in mind who they're definitely getting and Ron Rivera is aware, or we're just going to promote somebody from inside and Ron Rivera is aware of that also. It seems like the Redskins are doing a lot of smart things lately, like the things we actually want them to do. So I highly doubt they'll just go and get a head coach with no idea who the GM is about to be. I wouldn't be surprised if we announced the GM within a week. And that Steve Wilks as defensive coordinator is very underrated because he helped the Bears get to the Super Bowl in 2006 when they had that dominant defense. He also played a big part in the Panthers defense when they made it to the Super Bowl in 2015. And he's been a DB's coach for most of his career, so that's gonna be really good for Fabian Moreau, Quentin Dunbar, Jimmy Moreland and the like. Landon Collins, Monte Nicholson if we keep him, and whoever else we bring into the DB group. And most importantly, his chemistry with Ron Rivera is crazy. They've been together for so many years in different places, so Ron Rivera definitely trusts him. And I like the fact that Steve Wilks is not far removed from being a head coach recently. So it's a guy with experience that knows a lot that's coming to be our defensive coordinator. I love it. But anyway, I'm going to stop babbling to y'all. If there's more really big news that comes out, I'm definitely going to talk about it. But it's really interesting to me how this NFC East is shaking up because Jason Garrett might be gone. Pat Shurmur's already gone. We'll see who they get. They might try to get Lincoln Riley or somebody. We have Ron Rivera, Steve Wilks, hopefully Kevin O'Connell, an offensive coordinator. We might not be the NFC least anymore, y'all. Things are getting really interesting. But make sure you like this video if you liked it. Please subscribe if you haven't. I'm going to spam y'all with content all throughout this off season. Live streams will continue. Just because we don't have games does not mean we won't have live streams. I'm going to chop it up with y'all on various discussions and topics. And also, thanks for the view. Appreciate the support. I'll catch y'all later. I'm out.
I'm out of here.